Victor Wembanyama has his groove back. The Bulls were without Josh Giddey last night, but that didn't stop them from giving the Spurs a really tough battle. They rode some hot shooting from Kevin Huerter and some good advantage creation from Trey Jones and Nikola Vucevic. And they really played fun drive and kick hoops, and they played beautiful basketball, and they gave the Spurs some issues. They controlled most of the second half, and they led by as much as 13 in this game. But Victor Wembanyama finally woke up from his double team induced slump in a big way in that second half. Victor had averaged just 17 points per game over his previous 4 games. He had 18 points just in the fourth quarter last night. He got going off of a skip pass from Luke Cornett. We talked a lot about how De'Aaron Fox was going to help Victor start generating some easier shots for himself where he doesn't have to do all the work, but he can kind of be a beneficiary of the attention that De'Aaron draws. Ran a little ball screen on the left side of the floor, Fox and Cornett, and Fox hits Cornett in the pocket. The low man had already stepped over to help. Cornett makes the skip to Wemby. Wemby gets a wide open 3 in the right corner that gets him going. But from there, it was a steady diet of one-on-one basketball. The Bulls, we've talked about how the Spurs have faced a lot of putting a wing on Wemby who gets up underneath him and then aggressive gapping and double teaming, right? A lot of doubles, testing Wemby's ability to handle the ball through physicality and just making him uncomfortable by getting up underneath him. The Bulls went with a very different approach. They basically guarded him with centers, so Jalen Smith and Nikola Vucevic, and rather than sending double teams or pressuring the ball, they were sagging off and they were playing in the gaps. So basically allowing Victor Wembanyama to work comfortably in his face-up game and in his off-the-dribble game, as long as he was willing to settle, because the driving lanes weren't there because they were playing in the gaps. They were essentially in, we're going to just let Wemby take jump shots mode. And Wemby burned them. He hit a little face-up mid-ranger in the middle of the floor against Jalen Smith. He hit another one over Nikola Vucevic on the right elbow extended. And then he basically won the game with 2 pull-up threes over Nikola Vucevic, one in transition and one in the half court where he waved everybody off. And once again, Vucevic was giving him space, and he just kind of got into his bag and got into a little step back going to his left and knocked it down. All while doing the usual Wemby defensive damage on the other end of the floor. There was an interesting play late in the game where Trey Jones got a really nice driving lane down the left lane line. And Victor was guarding in the strong side corner. And the general principle is don't help off the strong side corner. There are some teams that do it, but generally speaking, you're not supposed to. And Victor was kind of staying home. Like he was in the driving lane a tiny bit, but for the most part, he wasn't offering help on the drive. But Trey Jones just panicked because he thought Wemby might go for it. And so instead of taking the wide open left-handed layup he had on the left lane line, he went like up and under and tried this super difficult reverse layup on the right side, and he smoked it. An example of the defensive impact of Wemby that'll never show up in the box score. But Wemby, again, you can call it coverage specific because, again, there wasn't the wing, the big forward on the ball. There wasn't the aggressive double teaming. But I thought it was just at the very least good for his confidence. The coverage challenge remains. He's going to face teams that put forwards on him, that get up underneath him, that bring double teams. But on the one hand, this is a reminder that you kind of have to guard him that way. Like if you let him work single coverage against your center, he's just going to fry those dudes. And that's what he did. But on the other hand, it kind of gives Wemby a little confidence boost as he continues to work through the challenge that is that coverage and what he's going to have to deal with as he continues to develop in his young career. Steph Castle is an absurdly gifted interior passer. Another 11 assists for Stephon Castle last night. His 3rd straight game with double-digit assists. I believe he has 37 assists over the previous 3 games. He's averaging 8 assists per game on the season now. After having some turnover issues to start the year, we had talked about that earlier, like last week. He has just 3 turnovers over his last 2 games. And again, that's in a stretch where he has 24 assists and 32 field goal attempts. So that's a lot of usage with him mostly taking care of the ball. So I thought that was a good step forward for him as well. But the interior passing is what amazes me. It dawned on me early in the season with the lob passes. He just has a really natural gift for timing where and when to hit a vertical spacer in their jump. He hit like a half dozen more lobs tonight. It's not just Wemby either. He's got wonderful chemistry with Luke Cornett. I think like 3 or 4 of the lobs he connected on last night were just from last night were to Cornett. And obviously it's very nice to have Cornett back. Him being out of the lineup was definitely a problem for the Spurs over that little bit of a losing streak that they had. But it's not just the lobs. Like he has a lot of touch on his interior passes, especially on the bounce. Like he hit Cornett on a couple of beautiful bounce passes last night in the fourth quarter. A pocket pass that got him one. Another one in crunch time where like he was on the left block and a defender was walled up on him and he saw Cornett and threw a beautiful wraparound bounce pass that hit Cornett for an easy one right underneath the basket. He just has a great feel for hitting vertical spacers either down low or up high. And in a lot of ways, that makes him the perfect fit for Wemby and Cornett because there's going to be a lot of roll and cut opportunities with the way the spacing works on this team. And with a team that can struggle to shoot the basketball from time to time, unlocking vertical spacing is a huge thing to help with that lack of shooting that they can show sometimes. I mean, there are a lot of players in the league that struggle to pass to vertical spacers. Like they can't see the reads or they just can't time the passes properly or they don't know how to put the appropriate touch on them. Like I've been watching a lot of the Lakers, obviously, and like with Austin and Luka, like as great as Austin is, it's crazy to see the difference in like the natural passing ability they have to vertical spacers. Austin had a lob last night that he threw, I think, to Jackson that was like way too late and ended up just going carrying off the backboard. It's like it's very much a difficult pass to make. And like Steph Castle is just very naturally good at it. And it's something that has stood out to me in a big way over the early part of the season. Again, 37 assists in his last 3 games and just 3 turnovers in his last 2 games. Big steps forward for Stephon Castle as a playmaker.